Are you Micaiah?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Caitlin coming?
She said she was coming,
Okay,
so.
you ready? Ty, are you ready? Okay. Welcome to the Providence City Administrative Land Use Authority. Today is March the 14th, 2023. We're in the Providence City Office Building at 164 North Gateway Drive in Providence. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and we have two items on our agenda. We approved previous minutes via email, right? Okay. Excuse me. Our first item is a conditional use for a home business. And it says the Providence City Administrative Land Use Authority will consider for approval a request by Micaiah Luther for an in-home salon located at 555 South, 75 West in Providence. I forgot to introduce who's here. I apologize. I'm Scarlett Bankhead. I'm the Community Development Director and I chair this meeting. We have Max Pierce, our city engineer, and Rob Stapley, our Public Works Director. Also in our audience, we have Ryan Snow, our city manager, Ty Cameron, our city recorder, Diane Campbell, our land use office specialist, Colton Love, our stormwater and code compliance specialist, and our applicant, Micaiah Luther, is also here. So Diane, did I say the wrong one?
No, but we have our other applicant now here.
Yes. We have our applicant, Caitlin Eister, okay. Micaiah, if you want to come up and sit at this table, and then, Diane, if you would like to introduce the.
Okay. This application was received February 28th, and it included the application, the business plan, site plan, and the statement describing her request. Findings of fact, we use Providence City Code 345, home businesses, 1061, use regulations, and 1035 establishes the standards for reasonable conditions. We also use Utah Code 109A 507, conditional uses. Conditions of law, conclusions of law, Providence City has adopted ordinances in compliance with Utah Code, which allows the city to adopt a land use ordinance that includes conditional uses and provisions for conditional uses that require compliance and standards set forth in an applicable ordinance. The applicant meets the requirements of the finding of facts with the following conditions. The applicant will apply for a business license pursuant to Providence City Code 315. The applicant will meet the requirements for a home business listed in 345. Applicant will operate the business in a manner described in the business description, and the applicant will continue to meet all federal, state, county, and Providence City rules, laws, codes, and ordinances related to the operation of home salon. Approval by the city of any submitted application or paperwork does not alleviate the owners and or their agents from their responsibility to understand and conform to local, state, and federal laws. Providence City's approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated.
Thank you. Micaiah, did you get a copy of that
Yes.
report? And do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. I know that Diane described it a bit, but if you want to just take a minute and explain to us what your intent is for your business, we'll give you that second to do that.
I'm gonna do nails and hair out of the salon in my basement. My whole goal is to work from home for when I have kids, so having the home salon would be great. Yeah, I don't do any acrylic or anything that requires a ventilation system, but I use a dust collector for the nails that I do so that it's not in the air. And yeah, I do 4 appointments per day. Only one person's allowed there at a time. It's about every 2 hours, and then it's just Monday through Friday. So, and then I did it out of my home in Logan for 4 years. So, and then we just moved to Providence, so.
Okay. And I noticed you say only haircuts.
Yep, only haircuts, no hair color.
Okay, all right. Do you have any questions, Rob? Do you, Max?
I just wondered about, you talk about no colors, none of that kind of stuff from this, will that change or how likely would that change? I guess I just didn't want you to
Yeah.
pin yourself into a corner if you didn't need to, but.
No, I just, in hair school, I never understood color, so I wouldn't even dare try probably, so no, I will not, it would just be haircuts, and it's honestly just on my brothers, so, and my husband when he needs it, so.
Well, this allows you to do more if you, as far as haircuts if you want. Now, if there comes a time when you do feel more comfortable, if you start dabbling again and feel comfortable to do something else, that's allowed with, in-home salon, but because of your business plan, you would need to come back and see us and
Okay.
let us know that you're changing your business plan, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Alrighty, so the scheduling, you will just schedule to make sure that you only have one person there at a
Yeah.
time, so they just will park in the driveway?
Yep.
Okay, alright, I would just caution you to make sure that people are courteous about parking in the driveway, even on snowy days, particularly in the winter.
Yes.
Make sure that people adhere to our winter parking ordinance, which technically is still in effect until the 15th of April. So if you have people come and they think it's easier to park on the street so they don't block your driveway, if it's snowing, remind them to come in on the driveway. I can't think of anything else that, we really need to stress for this type of business. Just be courteous neighbor. Does anybody in the audience have any comments? Okay, all right. And you have any other questions?
I think I'm good, thank
Okay.
you.
With that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the conditional use.
I'll make a motion, we approve this conditional use for the home business.
Okay,
I'll second it.
the motion was by Rob Stapley, the second is by Max Pierce, and we are using the findings of fact, the conclusions and the conditions listed in the staff report. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The voting is unanimous, so thank you. Diane will get you a record of decision and then you can get your business license and go from there.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming in.
I'll email it to you. Yeah. No, you don't need to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Caitlin, would you come up? And then Diane, if you would come up, we will move to our second item on the agenda, which is another conditional use for a home business. The Providence City Administrative Land Use Authority will consider for approval a request by Caitlin Eister for an in-home dog grooming business located at 579 South, 300 West in Providence.
Did I write 300 west? Is it 300 east?
It is.
300 East, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Applewood subdivision is
I-
not west.
Yeah,
I didn't even catch the mistake.
yeah, the staff report's right, but.
I didn't on the agenda, but until I read it out loud, and then I thought, that's not right. Okay,
All right, this application was received on February 29th, and that included her application, the business plan, and her statement describing her request. Following Providence City lists, the city code lists regulations, and we use 345, which is home businesses, 1061, use regulations, 1035, conditional use, and 1035, conditional use permits, and the official zoning map, last revised June 22. I think, I don't know when the last revision was actually, if there's a newer one than that. Conclusions of law, Providence City has adopted ordinances in compliance with Utah Code 109A 507, which allows the city to adopt a land use ordinance that includes conditional uses and provisions for conditional uses that require compliance with standards set forth in the applicable ordinance. The other ordinances have already been mentioned. 1061 F18 provides that pet grooming is permitted by conditional use as a home business. The applicant meets the requirements of findings of fact with the following conditions. The applicant will apply for a business license. The applicant will meet the requirements for a home business listed in Providence City Code 345. The applicant will operate the business in a manner described in the submitted business plan or statement. The applicant will continue to meet, federal. I'll have to change that. Federal, state, county, and province, city rules, laws, codes, and ordinances related to the operation of a pet grooming business. And approval by the city of any submitted application or paperwork does not alleviate the owners and or their agents from their responsibility to understand and conform the local, state, and federal laws. Providence City's approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated.
Thank you. Caitlin, did you receive a copy of that? Do you have any questions? Okay, if you want to take just a minute and describe your business to us, that would be great.
Yeah, I am only wanting to work with dogs. Cats are their own special thing. And it will be in my basement. I do have endeavors to eventually move it to either my backyard or my front yard, which I understand includes more permits and applications. But that's at least a good year out, and that's probably being nice to myself. But I will only do one dog or one family of dogs at a time. I will not have multiple clients at my house, and the clients don't actually stay for the whole time their dogs are being groomed. It's a minute. Parking is provided in my driveway. I have a certificate of safe grooming from the American Kennel Club. I continue to learn more about safety and the germs and, all that stuff as I continue to develop my skills. So those things will never stop. I do clean up with dog safe cleaner and with bleach after each dog, so there's no risk of passing disease or sickness from one family to the next. There is a double door system only because I have my bathroom door right now. But the dogs are in the bathroom, and then my front door is also the second stop from dogs escaping. But I also have, what they're called, loose lead choke collars, I think. So the dog pulls and it tightens. I'll put that on every dog when they come in, even if the owners have brought their own leash, because it just provides that extra layer of safety. If the dog tries getting out the front door, usually they like to run out after their owners. So a lot of safety measures in place.
I appreciate that. We've had several dog groomers, and to the best of my knowledge, you're the first one that's talked about safety.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's actually quite interesting, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I also appreciate that you put, that they park on the curb when weather permits, so thank you for acknowledging that we do have those different parking hours for snow removal, so I appreciate that as well. Rob, do you have any questions?
No, this one's pretty cut and dried.
I just got a question on, is there a scenario where people will bring their dog to you, say, for instance, in the morning, and you would keep it all day while they're at work,
No,
pick it up later, or is it just,
no. There
Okay.
are instances where they'll ask if they can bring the dog early, but then I just start the groom early. So, the most I've held on to somebody's dogs was a couple hours because they forgot. The dog was in a kennel contained with, the kind that they can't open. So, I do not encourage that. There have been exceptions.
okay,
You do have a dog-proof fenced backyard?
I do. I also have chickens back there, which my dogs are fine with, but I don't take the dogs out. Really, so. Just when the owners get here, I'll walk out the front door with them, but still have that grooming lead on, even if they say that the dog is okay, because sometimes they're not.
That's good to know. I, would just caution you, like I cautioned, Micaiah, that make sure that your clients do park appropriately. And then with the dog grooming business, I doubt the way you've got them scheduled, it would be a problem, but just, be conscious of barking.
Oh, yeah.
So that the neighbors don't get frustrated
Right.
with extra barking, but
Yeah, I did talk to my direct neighbor that is by that bathroom window, which I do keep open for ventilation, because it gets steamy in the bathroom with the dog.
Mhm.
she didn't notice, so hopefully it stays that way, but yeah,
Okay.
I do talk to my neighbors and bring
All right.
homemade gifts for,
I have a couple of questions here if I can.
yeah,
Waste. My dog sheds a lot.
Right.
I don't know how other dogs are.
great.
But what's the volume of waste, either hair or otherwise, product wise, that you would see? And is that something that, you know, our sensitivity now to new garbage, service? Is that something that you see a volume of? Is that something that, you know, my dog's special because he probably sheds more than most? Or, I mean, I'm just kind of curious at the volume of waste that you
Yeah.
might see through that grooming process.
So I started doing this as a hobby because I have physical conditions that really stopped me from doing a lot. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to turn this into a business. And the most dogs that I could even take would be, like, if they were all big dogs, it would be 10 a week, 2 a day for 5 days. And even if they're all big shedders, I just did a Newfoundland. They shed the most out of any dog that I've ever done, and it's maybe half a garbage bag full, and then the rest, I might get rid of a garbage bag once a week of hair. As far as solid waste goes, client dogs rarely poop in my yard, but when they do, I just go clean it up, take care of it. I've got 3 dogs of my own that are in my backyard. So that's a fun game every week, but I have not noticed a significant uptick in either the volume of waste in our garbage cans or the amount of water I use, surprisingly.
And the entrance is from your front door and then you take them to the bathroom.
Correct.
So it's not directly into a bathroom or directly in from the exterior side, it's from the front door into
Correct. Yeah.
a.
Does anybody else have any questions? Do you have any questions for us? I'm just a little curious, what are your hours?
I start at 10, it's usually the first appointment, and 3 is the second one. They can vary a little bit. I have had some people ask me to come to their place, and if it's a special condition, like this was a client of an old folks home and the dog was scared of tile floor and they had carpets. So I was able to put it.
Okay, that sounds good. Do either of you have any other questions? Okay, that being said, I would entertain a motion, to approve the conditional use for the home business for in-dog grooming for Caitlin Eister.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Max Pierce, second by Rob Stapely, and we are using the findings of fact, conclusions of law and conditions. They're presented in the staff report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voting is unanimous. So thank you.
Thank you.
And the same as before, Diane will get you a record of decision and then you'll put that with your business license application and be good to go.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a nice afternoon and thanks for coming to see us. With that being said, that concludes the agenda items on that concludes the items on our agenda. If no one has anything else that they need to bring up for us to put on a future agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by Max Pierce, second by Rob Stapely, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are